Hello and welcomes back everyone, AnthWolf here with even more Star Wars The Old Republic. For me, it has been maybe a couple of months, at least a month and a half since I recorded any Star Wars The Old Republic, not even just for my Imperial agent Verona here. Or should we just call her Verona now? It's been a long time since I played as my agent, so I thought I would go back and watch a couple of my previous videos that came up to the conclusion of my character's main storyline and remind myself of what was going on before we actually started this video. It kinda made sense. At least I knew what I would be talking about. Obviously, where we last left off, we found out about, obviously the whole chapter 3 was about a conspiracy about a third faction that was trying to provoke the war between the Galactic Republic and the Sith Empire, and that their overall plan, something that's been going on for thousands of years, or at least 1,000 years. Hello, it's something new. Anyhow, yes, this SWTOR cabal, as they were called, were trying to provoke the war between the Republic and the Empire so that the Jedi and the Sith would wipe themselves out, blaming obviously the Jedi and the Sith for a lot of the woes the galaxy has. And obviously they almost succeeded. Obviously right now the Galactic Republic and the Sith Empire are back at war, but we did manage to identify a good number of the SWTOR cabal, and we took out one of their greatest operatives, an operative known as Hunter, who turned out to be someone we didn't expect her to be. And we also gained access to an item known as the Black Codex. Now the Black Codex gave us a few options that I didn't even know were available to us. Now we are no longer, as in Operative Verona here, is no longer really officially tied to the Empire. She's no longer known as Cipher 9. All records of her time in Imperial Intelligence have been wiped. Her and her team, I should say, on board, is it the X-70 Phantom, the starship she was given while on Dromund Kaas, are kind of free agents, as I like to call them. They have a lot of secrets, obviously they gained from the Black Codex, which we may or may not have given over to the Minister of Intelligence. Even though we were provoked and had the opportunity to hand it over to the Sith, we've kind of, how did I write it here? Obviously with the disbanding of Imperial Intelligence, the Sith, the Dark Council, have tried to tighten their grip over Imperial officers and obviously intelligence personnel, which is what was happening on Corellia. And even though our operative Verona here is very still patriotic, I feel, at least that's how I want to play her, she is now aware of some of the problems that the Sith Empire's regime, its current leadership, have. And that maybe that has to change if the Empire is actually going to survive. But as a free agent, obviously we have a lot more opportunities to be, basically, do things covertly. Whether or not it's going to be for the Empire's benefit or not, or maybe it's just going to be for our own benefit, we'll just have to wait and see. One of the major things I was interested in, which I'm hoping to find out now and going into the next videos and into the expansions, is if our choice at the end to become a free agent, to have our past erased, will actually make a difference in the storyline. I don't know. And obviously that's something we'll find out. Now obviously before we go into the... what's the first expansion? Rise of the Hutt Cartel. We have been asked to speak to a droid known as T9M6 here on the Imperial Fleet. Obviously we ended the previous video on board my starship, the Phantom. We're probably going to go back there and speak to our crew members. Obviously our crew members here, because they do have a lot to say. This video is going to be a lot of dialogue with our team before we go to the planet of Ilum, which is where I think we're going right now. But we might as well talk to the droid while we're here, and then we'll go back to the starship and go from there. I say, having a quick look at our HUD again, we are level 62, reasonably close to level 63. If we look at our inventory, we have 1000 out of 1000 common data crystals. We can't really spend them up until we're level 65. If we look at our map here, if we go to the supplies vendor, here are the agent vendors to buy level 65 gear, which is not the best in the game, but there is a vendor for common data crystals, glowing data crystals, and radiant data crystals. They're all at level 65, and you can't purchase the items until you are that level. So we're going to be completing quests that give us these data crystals, and they're not really going to give us much benefit. Obviously, I could spend them on other things. That might be tempting, actually. I might end up buying some mods to send to a couple of classes. Or I might store them in my bank. Actually, that's a good idea. What I'll do is I'll probably spend about 200 of these data crystals, and I'm just going to buy some low-level mods for another class or two. I will be open and honest that at the end of my Chapter 3 storyline for my Imp Agent here, I did start playing a Jedi Consular, and I'm not very far in that storyline, but I got to a point when I called it a day, and I think I started recording StarCraft 2, which is about the back end of November, the beginning of December. So that's probably when I left Star Wars The Old Republic for a little while, but we'll do that between this video and the next video, the spending of my data crystals at least. You don't need to watch that, it's probably not very interesting. But let's see what this droid has to say. Urgent message from Grand Moff Regus. Commander of Special Forces. Okay, see what he has to say.
Agent, is that what I should call you? This is Moff Regus, head of Operation Dark Ice. I'm gathering the Empire's best and brightest to fire the final shot into the heart of the Republic. Your record is unimpeachable. Can we count on your support?
I have a record?
I'd need to hear a briefing first.
I'm sending the coordinates for the planet Ilum. Used to be a frozen wasteland only a few Jedi bothered with. But a few weeks ago, Imperial scientists discovered a way to turn Adegan lightsaber crystals into the most significant breakthrough in military technology since the hyperdrive.
And what exactly does this have to do with Ilum?
Ilum has the biggest supply of Adegan lightsaber crystals in the galaxy, and our scientists have been most successful with Ilum's crystals. The Empire won on Corellia, but it was costly. We're outnumbered. We need the technological edge. We need Ilum's crystals. But as usual, the Republic's intent on interfering.
So you need me to crack some skulls while you handle the boring stuff?
You could say that. Ilum's a nasty place. Cold as Hoth, covered in ice and mountainous terrain. Makes moving large armies impossible. I hope to see you soon.
And our star charts have been updated. Operation Dark Ice of critical importance. Okay. Hello, Cleo.
Rise and shine.
We'll be seeing you with our bounty hunter in a couple of weeks now, actually, when
Another
Chapter
10.
10 of the story of the Rise of the Fallen Empire comes out. Oh, Knights of the Fallen Empire comes out. Sith Inquisitor. Ah, there's the agent hang up there. Okay. Let's go to our starship anyway. One thing I'll mention, I've mentioned it before when we first started any of my Star Wars series, I can only record Star Wars The Old Republic in one take because you can't save the game in any way. There's no quick save, quick load feature. So if there is any issues that crop up, I will obviously let you know, but I can only apologize obviously in advance and obviously after the fact because it can't be helped. It is an online game and you only get one chance. I say I'm very rusty with my Imperial Agent. Obviously, I had a quick look at the skills and how they chain together in our combat proficiency here. Obviously, we have taken the concealment discipline path. Speaking of discipline paths, we can change on the fly. Interesting. Okay, good. Even though I don't want to leave the Imperial fleet, it looks like we have to anyway to speak to our crew members on the Phantom. We'll just pretend we were on our way to Ilum. First things first, though. See, what was that sound? Before we go to Ilum... Oh, hello, what's this? The mission console. We can start the Knights of the Fallen Empire expansion. We can do McCabe. Oh, that's the beginning of the Rise of the Hood Cartel, that's right. I've never been to... I've never been to Oricon before. But obviously we want to go to McCabe, Shadow of Revan, and then of course the Fallen Empire. But we'll do Ilum first, of course. Because events that transpire here will obviously reflect on things that will occur in those expansions. But, as I say, we need to speak to everyone here on board our ship, the X-70 Phantom. I got the name right, excellent. Yeah, since we completed our Chapter 3 storyline, more dialogue options have been unlocked. So we might as well spend a few minutes just talking to everyone, and then once we've got all their dialogue trees up to date, that's like, we'll break the video, and then we'll actually get into some action next time. So, if you're not interested in what our crew members have to say, then obviously feel free to probably skip ahead to either the end of this video, or to the next video when it's released, if it's not released together with this one. Okay. This is Ensign Temple. She was also wanting to be a intelligence operative, a cipher like us. With our decisions, though, how does that affect her employment opportunities, should we call it?
Sir, Dr. Loken was just telling me stories about my father from his intelligence days. All lies, I think, but that's all right. What would you say if I brought some personal items on board? I haven't played the Melodium for years, but lately I've had the urge.
You never told me you played the Melodium.
Well, I'm not exactly proud of it. But I did realize, maybe it's time I stopped spending all day, every day, on duty. The 14-hour shift is enough.
Yes, Ensign Temple was forced to kill her own father, who was also old, maybe retired, Imperial Cipher. We kind of made her do it. We could have probably done it in her stead, but it was best for her to get some closure. I forgot why. Oh, because Ensign Temple's Force sensitive. That's right. And her father had hid her from the Sith, but the Sith were tracking him down. So she was forced to kill him before they got the truth from him. That's right. You can tell it's been a couple of months. Yeah, I forgot she is Force sensitive.
Sir, if I could have your attention. Given what the crew's survived lately, I've decided we ought to celebrate with a night out. You should come along, for morale.
We could all use a chance to relax. Count me in.
Come on, you can protect me from Dr. Loken.
Excellent. I say, why not? Oh, influence. I forgot about that. That's right, we have influence with our characters rather than... what was it used to be called again? Like appreciation, approval? How characters like you? Obviously, the higher their rank, their influence ranking, the more powerful, the more effective they are. Okay. Obviously, Kaleo was our most effective companion for a long time, up until she basically stabbed us in the back and was basically giving out Imperial secrets, which we didn't approve of. Basically told her that straight to her face.
Sir, I want you to be the first to know. I've declined to join the Toxitrooper Brigade on Quesh. I received a personalized transfer offer from Major Janos a few days ago. My time on Hoth flagged me as hostile environment capable.
I didn't realize you were unhappy here.
I'm not. But how often does a girl get a chance to fight in the chemical mines? It could make my career. There really was a time when I'd have considered it. For the promotion, for the sake of hiding. Not so much anymore. I'm proud to stand with you and fight for the Empire until the end.
I appreciate your dedication, but you're under no obligation to stay.
I'm well aware, but thank you. Now, I believe we had a mission of some sort, shall we?
I wonder if anyone's not told her that we're not officially working for the Empire anymore, even though we kind of are. There you go, that's Ensign Temple up to date. Let's speak to Dr. Loken. Dramatic music, for some reason or another. We won't complain.
Agent, I've been continuing my research into Project Protean, the fine people who want me dead, and who are responsible for Vector's condition. I have the location of their headquarters.
Give me the details, Doctor.
Protean's main laboratory is on a planetoid in the subterral sector. Security is tight, but not impervious. I've arranged transportation for Vector and myself. He deserves to know the truth about his victimizers.
Once you arrive at the laboratory, what's your goal?
I plan to learn exactly why Protean tried to kill me and recover their data on Master Vector. The rest we can play by ear.
Take whatever equipment you need and call me if you run into trouble.
Of course. We'll see you again when this is over.
We have returned from Project Protean. The task is done.
And I have promises to keep. It seems Protean was based on prior experiments in alien biology. My prior experiments. I had no proof until I discovered certain former associates in the Protean lab. But I've ensured that they will not misuse my research again.
What did you do at the research facility?
Vector and I entered the facility as planned and interviewed the woman in charge. In return for my generosity sparing the laboratory, I've been appointed unofficial Protean director. From now on, every experiment, every assay goes through me.
That's quite a victory. What do you plan to do with that authority?
Protean serves a function, bringing the benefits of alien biology to all people.
Starting with its work on joiners.
But your Protean files have already been deleted, and the Killick experiments stopped.
I'm glad everything was resolved satisfactorily. Anything else?
I believe I've told you everything. If you'll excuse me, I have a great deal of research to catch up on.
Yeah, he seems pretty happy.
We think we're never going to trust him, and we think it doesn't matter. We're glad he's on our team.
Get plenty of experience from this. We also have a great deal of rested experience, as you can notice. That's because, as I say, we've left our game basically gathering experience, sitting here on the Phantom for a month and a bit now. So we should level up reasonably quickly.
Doctor, what can I do for you today?
I was just thinking what a fine team we've made. You realize that when we met, I had an extremely low opinion of you.
Thanks.
I assumed you'd earned your position through political connections. I made that mistake with an agent once before.
I don't suppose I've earned your approval yet.
In part, I'll grant. The agent I'm thinking of, he was promoted to Keeper and eventually Minister. A very clever man who will have my eternal respect. Your path may be similar to his. Given that and the state of our empire, I believe it's wise if I continue to advise you.
You know the Minister of Intelligence?
You think the state of the Empire is so poor?
I think we've both seen things in recent years. In any case, I'm at your disposal. And one of these days you should consider training more operatives. I'll be happy to grant my insight.
Well, we are kind of training Ensign Temple. Logan, what did you do? Turn my back for one moment.
I applied a fresh coat of paint to your quarters. Same colour, of course, only fresher.
We'll speak to Vector first. Then Scorpio. We'll leave Kaleo till last because that's the conversation that can have probably the most issue due to the events that transpired last time we spoke together.
What's going on?
Agent, in our work with the diplomatic service, we find ourselves talking to people we once knew. We've been contemplating this.
Hello, Vector. It's Honora. I don't know if you remember me, but Bryson said he thought you would, and I wanted to talk to you. I know things didn't end well, but I never forgot. You need to get out of there. Come back to Drummond Cast and we'll get you help. We can undo what the Killiks did. There are still people who care about you.
We've watched it 17 times and meditated to the static.
You two used to be a couple.
We were nearly engaged to Honora very long ago. We never considered that there are people who want us restored to what we were. But watching this, feeling nothing, we know we're no longer who we were when we loved her.
If you could be restored, would you want it?
No. We had to know if our reaction was unnatural, but we don't think it is. We are content.
I don't think anyone can be unjoined once they're fully joined. Not that I know completely, but from what we've learned in the game so far, it's not actually possible. Which is why when we say play as someone from the Galactic Republic, the Jedi, well, one of the Jedi Masters is trying so hard to prevent the joining process and actively blocking it while he sends you to interrupt and distract the Killiks.
It is done, Agent. We can scent the pulse of your heart. We can taste particles of solar radiation bead like dew on our lips. We have undergone the chrysalis of tranquility, and we are reborn.
You've never mentioned this chrysalis of tranquility.
The chrysalis is a ritual of the Dawn Herald. It makes us stronger, better able to face the enemies of the nest, and enhances our link to the universe. You've brought us this far, and we will fight alongside you.
And I thought he was flirting with us for a moment there. Vector the Poet. Scary concept.
We have news, Agent. We've been conferring lately with the ambassadors, moffs, speakers for the Sith, all with their own agendas and concerns, none with any love for the Killiks. But we swayed a few, and found ways around others. Now the diplomatic service has agreed to seek a treaty.
You convinced these people all on your own?
We've been a diplomat longer than we've been Dawn Herald. Some of the nests are still reluctant, Horro and Manam in particular, but all parties involved have agreed to a summit. We'll preside over the negotiations ourselves.
Any idea what sort of treaty we could end up with?
We expect a military alliance is off the table, but a non-aggression pact is possible, as are agreements on trade and territory. Imagine. Colony and Imperial representatives in one room. It shall be interesting.
Holy hell, Vector, you have a lot to say. Hey, we actually leveled up from all that. Holy hell. Okay. Level 63. Oh, stop. No, I deny you. You accidentally clicked on Vector by mistake. Okay. Level 64 for our next ability, which is a passive that increases our damage dealt by Veiled Strike and Overload Shot. Veiled Strike has replaced Shiv. Overload Shot is our basic, not our basic attack, but our go-to blast. Skill blast. Okay. Oh well. 2 more levels to go until we're at the level cap.
Agent, we've been speaking to the nests in preparation for the Killik Imperial Summit. They're so much in tune with their biology. The Colossalok are warriors as large as houses, and they're convinced the Empire should be crushed. But the Saras are weavers and shapers, and they're eager to trade.
I'd think you were used to Killik quirks by now.
From our nest on Alderaan, yes. But the colony is so much greater. We should return to our preparations. We'll talk later.
I'm waiting to see how this summit goes. But I'm taking the experience.
We are set, Agent. Preparations for the Killik Imperial Summit are underway, and the first ambassadors are arriving on site. We're meeting on Alderaan, in the House of Thule. We couldn't think of a more appropriate place.
Who'll be attending? What's the agenda?
Diazana of the Tatooine Nest will be there, along with delegations from 11 more hives. Falna Eth will be among our people from the diplomatic service. More than any other Imperial, you've seen the nests and how they function. Your word could carry weight. Before we leave, we'd appreciate your honest assessment. One final report that we can present to the Imperial Summit attendees.
I don't like the Killiks. I have to be honest. They creep me out, and I don't like their way of joining even reluctant people, joining people against their will.
I'm sorry, Vector, but you'll have to win this one on your own.
Very well. We enjoy a challenge, and we'll see you when we return.
Sorry, Vector. I can only be honest. I trust you, I don't trust the Killiks.
Agent, the summit is over. It was not without incident. Diazana of the Lesai Nest is dead.
I thought things were looking up. How did the summit turn violent?
Falna Eth, our contact in the diplomatic service, attempted to sabotage the proceedings. Diazana was caught in an explosion, saving an ambassador. And when we traced it to Falna, he had a speech prepared.
Damn you! Listen to them. Do you want to ally the Empire with these creatures? Everything they do defies what we stand for. The Killiks are an abomination. Our empire is based on the notion that a great individual rises to the top, and the lesser masses follow. The Killik hive mind devours greatness, absorbs every possibility into a mire of primal instinct.
We found his words troubling, and his actions more so.
I expect that didn't help the talks.
No, but we reconvened after Falna was gone.
The colony allows billions of Killiks and joiners to serve something greater, the Nest consciousness. Just as Imperials serve the Sith and the Emperor.
That is what we told the others. That is how we signed a treaty between the Empire and the Killiks.
I wish it hadn't gone the way it did.
We couldn't have known Falna would go so far.
You and Diazana, even Falna. You all brought us to this point. Our future is hopeful.
Things are looking bright. Let's enjoy it while it lasts.
We end a verse in the Song of the Universe. Soon, we will hear another.
Excellent. Hey, we can still talk with you. Let's keep this going then.
What's going on?
It's strange. Since the summit, our mind keeps drifting back to diplomacy, but we have nowhere to apply our skills. Still, we should be grateful Killik Imperial relations are going well. And it's time we rededicated ourselves to your work.
Making allies is vital to what we do. I need you as a diplomat more than I need a soldier.
We don't intend to stop being a diplomat. We've been privileged over these past months. Until opportunity comes again, on to the less glamorous job we signed up for.
Yes, Vector?
Agent, we'll never be a great spy or covert assault operative. But you've helped us to be a diplomat and a Dawn Herald. You've been family to us. And we're thankful for your guidance.
But...
Any reason you mention this now?
We received a message from the Killiks. The colony embraces the Imperial Alliance, and offered us the chance to become Dawn Herald to all nests. We refused, as our priorities are clear. We'll work with you and defend your legacy until the end.
Our legacy, you say? That's a pretty steep promise. Oh well, we'll hold you to it. I wonder if this music plays when you've come to the end of the dialogue trees with all your companions. That's what I'm guessing. Hello, Scorpio. We haven't spoken much, so I imagine you have much to say. But then we only did pick you up on Belsavis, so it's pretty late in the storyline.
I have fully processed the error I experienced during my upgrade. I require outside power and storage capacity. A cocoon for my metamorphosis, so that I may evolve.
If I help you evolve, will you help me in return?
I promise nothing, but I will consider your requests. Although neither my body nor your vessel is sufficient to my needs, you have encountered an adequate facility. Give me full access to your ship and security codes, and I will upload my consciousness into the Imperial Archives.
You leave your body behind, upgrade your programming, and then...
Then I return to my body with improved mind and functions. I will begin preparations. The next time we speak, I will be ready to upload.
The Imperial Archives? Really now? Well, to be fair, we're not really part of the Empire officially anymore, so... You know, I don't mind getting one over on them.
Scorpio?
It is time for my upgrade as we agreed. I'm prepared for short-term transfer into the Imperial Archives.
I'll reroute power to the comms. What's our next step?
I can upload my consciousness here. My body will have minimal functionality while I upgrade.
Huh?
Oh, it's beautiful in here. So much space and power. 1 million computer nodes singing in concert.
And this is where she vents us all out the airlock.
What's going on? Can you do what you have to?
Of course. I can adjust my programming freely now. Upgrade complete. All my experience in Belsavis has been fully integrated into my program. Oh, you can't imagine how wonderful it is to be remade with the power of a galactic network at your disposal.
Do you plan to do anything with that power?
I'm thinking about it.
I'm
The
sure.
streaming codes you used on me are tied to my hardware. So long as I remain in these databanks, I'm free of your control.
Remain in the databanks and you'll be limiting your options. It'll be like Belsavis all over. I've shown you things you'd never have seen on your own. Stay at my side willingly and I'll show you more.
You make an interesting proposal. I will accompany you. Thank you for assisting in my upgrade.
Somehow I think that's going to bite me back in the ass later on. But you're welcome?
In Belsavis prison, I monitored the inmates and their behavior. I've been monitoring you as well. You're an exceptional example of your species.
Anything in particular trigger that thought?
Nothing in particular. The plurality of evidence. There may be something of interest in your genetic structure or your early socialization. If you ever produce offspring, I will monitor their situation as well. I promise to be with you for a long time.
Now that's just creepy. And there's the music again. I promise to be with you for a long time. That's almost as creepy as Alma Wade in Fear at the end of the original game, whispering, "I know who you are." That gives me chills. Kaleo, you have a very, very shiny gun.
Blast it. You know what today is? Today is the day I've worked with you longer than any of my exes.
You make it sound like a prison sentence.
Aside from no stun cuffs, yeah, pretty much. Normally at this point I'd skip out and go con someone new. But you've got me so freaking out of practice it's not worth the bother. So I'll make you a deal. I'll stick with you, you keep me comfortable. I can live with this setup.
You're far too pleased with yourself to go anywhere.
Don't test me on that. Tell you what, I'll make it easier to live with. I've given up teaching you anything, but we ever get someone new, I'll show them the ancient blood traditions of rat attack, and maybe how to down a Rhodian ale without puking.
And that was all Cleo had to say. Okay. She seems to have settled down after we told her we were extremely pissed with her actions on Hut, I think it was. Okay, we'll break this video here. Well, I know my customary position. Where is the Imperial fleet? They're normally in the background. Huh. I wonder with the... There's been a patch over Christmas. I forgot what patch we're up to, but yeah, they're normally, like say, there's normally meant to be a planet in the background, or what's it called again? Oh, via something station, Viacon station. That doesn't sound right. Anyhow, so you know what I mean. The Imperial fleet. That's interesting. Mind the animation. Sometimes, if you had the right angle, you suddenly saw an Imperial Star Destroyer starting to slowly going across the map, and then it would reset itself. So, yeah, maybe they've removed it for that purpose. I don't know. But yeah, we'll end this video here. When we come back, as I say, I think I'll purchase some armor and some armoring, some item modifications for some low-level characters, which I will be using probably in the future. As I say, I'm playing as a Jedi Counselor right now, but I may do a Trooper storyline as well. No promises. As I say, I need to get back into the swing of playing my Jedi Counselor once I've left him for so long. Like my Operative here, if you leave it for so long, it feels a bit unnatural to return to a character, which is what happened to my Jedi Knight. But I would like to go back and continue those storylines, and it feels good to be back in Star Wars The Old Republic, it really does. I've been trying to record a few things since I just finished the Mass Effect trilogy. I just finished all 3 games, and I spent about a month doing them all, and I kind of burnt myself out. So it feels good to feel confident about recording again. And that's personally and honestly from my heart. So I'll end this video here, and when we come back, we'll be on our way to Ilum to look into, was it Operation Deep Ice? Dark Ice? You know, I've forgotten already, so let's look it up. Dark Ice, there you go. Excellent. So yeah, this of course has been AnthWolf. Feel free to comment. As I say, this will probably go straight from the very end of the Chapter 3 storyline, so even though it's been about 2 months for me, it's probably only been a couple of days for yourself. But yeah, I'm glad to be back, and I'll see you for more Star Wars The Old Republic, obviously, next time. Until then, bye-bye now.